Brendan Sheehy resumes at right half forward. Collie Moran is on the other flank, and scores aplenty are expected from the likes of Declan Darcy, Desi Farrell, and Ian Robertson there as well. Well, the atmosphere building the whole time. We mentioned the delays in getting in here, tailbacks all the way back as far as Kildare. Tommy Carr did the sensible thing and brought his side here last night so that they could get the best possible preparation in advance of this afternoon's 3 o'clock start. And the Dubs have travelled in their thousands. What about the All-Ireland champions? Well, the Munster and All-Ireland champions make one hugely significant alteration from the side that beat Cork in the Munster final. But among the backs, there's a general level of satisfaction. Seamus Moynihan captains the team from full-back, with Eamon Fitzmaurice at centre-half.
Taking charge of the first of the Bank of Ireland quarter-finals, and it's Dublin attacking, playing with the breeze. Whelan playing it down towards Declan Darcy. Scooped up instead here by Tomás O'Shea. Tom O'Sullivan almost getting caught in no man's land. Angling this one up towards Johnny Crowley, runs on beyond them. Dublin managed to get possession back there through Paddy Christie. Patter Andrews here has a bit of space, can be creative. Good movement here by Dublin, looking for the opening score. Into Jason Sherlock, transferred back towards Andrews. This is a great chance for Dublin. First minute of the game. And they get into a cul-de-sac, lose their way, lose possession, and the chance has gone. And it's Moynihan who gets it away. Eventually cleared away downfield. Johnny McGee is under it, drops it. Brosnan is in to challenge him. Dr. Croak's player. Tom O'Sullivan beaten for possession this time. Here comes Jason Sherlock. Fitzmaurice trying to go into tackle, unable to do so. Comes back in the end to Collie Moran, and he's kicked it, but he's kicked it in to the terrace at the town end here at Semple Stadium, badly wide. And this is a player who's really got the ability to get a lot of scores, and he's one of those fellows you feel who could get in for a goal at any stage.
George, just a few more things to bring your notes to. Johnny Crowley and Paddy Christie are marking each other at the moment, and Michael McCarthy has swapped over to take up Desi Farrell. So just as we thought before, and those people are marking each other.
Little specks of rain on the camera lens. It started to pour down here again. Whelan fisting it back down. Tomás O'Shea missing it. Comes back to Robertson. Nicely forward. Missed. Jason Sherlock was almost in. Here's Seamus Moynihan. About to be challenged in there by Declan Darcy. Still no scores in this match. Shane Ryan. Lobbed across here, intended for Desi Farrell. Kennelly was coming in, but a challenge which was quite in vain. Ian Robertson looking up, driving his shot in, but again he's put it wide. And those are two bad wides now by Dublin, but at least they've had the possession, but then they also have. Darren Homan leaving this one for Johnny McGee, toe poking it forward. Seamus Moynihan having to go back. Players calling for it. Inside to Dara O'Shea, had a wonderful game in the Munster final. Here comes Fitzmaurice. Daly outside here towards Noel Kennelly. Not the greatest of balls. Dublin contesting and challenging for everything. The boot was high. Collie Moran takes it quickly to Robertson. And again the referee blows his whistle. The foul there sees Dublin still holding possession. Darren Homan taking it forward. Daly's after him. And again rather hopelessly kicked into the crowd. That's 3 shots, 3 wides. Not a good start. Well, they have big, physical and imposing men in midfield, Dublin, but they haven't been able to make use of that possession in the final third of the field. Well, Kerry will be quite happy. They weathered something of a storm against Cork. They were a goal and 2 points behind and managed to gradually get themselves back into the game again. Good work here by Daly. Inside towards Aidan McGarrett. Transferred back to Daly. Unable to pick out Darragh Kineda. Instead it is Shane Ryan back there. Hurler come footballer. Almost getting himself into trouble. Out to Darren Holman. Good movement by Dublin. Poor pass again. Well, Tommy Carr will be very worried about this. They have started well in the sense of winning possession and getting it back again here in the Sheehy, but they need points on the board. That's a bad pass. Seamus Moynihan setting sail once again, leaving it up for Donald Daly. You can see Seamus Moynihan wanted to continue his run and realised, hang on, I'm the full back. Back he went. Moynihan trying to make something of it. Instead out it comes to Coleman Goggins, Darren Holman, Shane Ryan. Dublin are lording it over Kerry everywhere but on the scoreboard. Jason Sherlock. Fitzmaurice fouling. Free on the 65-metre line. Kicked up towards Desi Farrell. Dublin looking for their first score in this match. Can Darcy provide it for them? Kerry being disciplined, not giving away silly free kicks. Declan O'Keefe comes out, needed to get a good punch on that one. Ian Robertson was about. They get it out as far as Eamon Fitzmaurice. Darragh O'Shea. Back towards Eamon Fitzmaurice it comes. Sensible use of possession by the Kingdom. They work it up towards Aidan McGarrett, who in turn is fouled by Pater Andrews. Free kick to Kerry. Good movement here by Mike Frank Russell. Stole a march there on Coleman Goggins. Getting that ball inside towards Owen Brosnan. Brosnan looking to get the first point of this match, but he's missed it. And now the loud cheers are coming from the goal away to our left, the Killarney end, which of course is packed with Dublin fans here en masse. Davy Byrne, who's won back the goalkeeping shirt from Stephen Cluxton, who was so impressive on the Leinster semi-final against Offaly. But Davy is much more experienced. Daly, and it's Whelan coming after it. Touched on the ground. Free kick to Kerry. O'Shea. Might be a good ball yet. Davy Byrne had to come out for it. In after it, there was Brosnan back towards Johnny Crowley. Here's a point, surely, and it is. It takes 7 minutes. After all the pressure play coming from the Dubs, Kerry do what they do best, get it down to one of their best forwards, and he duly obliged. Well, it's taken 7 minutes, but Davy Byrne was in trouble from the time this ball was knocked in here. Crowley made a good angle for himself, made space, and was unerring.
Yeah, well, that's the difference between the two teams. Desi Farrell is the only one of the Dublin forwards. We feel that when you get the ball into his hands, he looks like he's going to consistently score, whereas Kerry have other options.
They also have the option, of course, of Maurice Fitzgerald on the bench. What they nowadays call the impact sub. Some impact he'll make, because he's such a terrific player. Dublin had Collie Moran down injured while all of this is happening here. Daly getting it back. Linking up here with Tomas O'Shea. Moran's back on his feet. Seamus Moynihan coming forward. He'd love to be out there, I know, as an adventurous attacking half-back. Instead, we're looking at the man who's filling that shirt right now, Tomas O'Shea. Owen Brosnan. The bounce sees that ball come away off the fist of Johnny Crowley, but only down as far as Enda Sheehy. Booted ahead by Ian Robertson. He's gone way, way back. Stopped here by Michael McCarthy. Now it's Tom O'Sullivan, man from Rathmore. Darragh O'Shea, constantly moving. A thoughtful ball forward towards Mike Frank Russell, trying to get inside the cover of Goggins, but he's touched it out over the sideline. And the line ball is going to go to Dublin.
Sure, any ball that goes into the Dublin full back line or the Dublin full forward line, Seamus Moynihan is winning. He's beating Ian Robertson hands down in there.
Robertson is anxious to take him away from the square as much as he can. Mind you, that might suit Seamus Moynihan. Here's Ian Robertson. Doing the little solo. trying to set up Desi Farrell. Good play by Farrell. Got away from Tom O'Sullivan. Jinking inside on the right, looking for the equaliser, and he sends it over the bar. Desi Farrell from the Fianna, levelling up the match. 9.5 minutes are gone. But Dublin will need an awful lot more than that point there. They've had a period of supremacy around midfield, into the half-forward line. At last they get their first score. Well, Tony was mentioning here the great individual skill that Desi possesses, and there's where he illustrated all of that. Still quite a misty afternoon here. Fisted down by Darren Homan. Big, tall figure in midfield. Line ball to Kerry. Well, a lot of people I know from neutral counties, as it were, were waging a certain amount of money on Dublin to win here this afternoon. Well, they've been a bit unhappy with the start that the Dubs have made, wasteful with the opportunities. As we watch them advance here, Kerry, and it's Darrow Kineda. Ryan is chasing after him, stopped by Byrne. A second chance, and it's turned into the net, and it's scored by Airborne McGarrett. Just over 10 minutes gone. McGarrett from Gaeltacht. He has the goal touch. And it's 1-1 to a point for Dublin. The Munster and All-Ireland champions doing nicely here. It was initially stopped there by Davy Byrne. The shot fed back to McGarrett by Darrow Kineda, and that is his 4th goal in championship football. Enda Sheehy. Now it's really been put up to Tom Carr's men. The bounce, awkward. Going back to smother was Eamon Fitzmaurice, almost lying on the ball. Stolen away by Ian Robertson. Inside here towards Collymoran. One of the younger Dublin players, a lot of pressure on him. And in the end, it beats everybody. Backs forward. Enda Sheehy winning this one. And he's also won a free kick. They take it quickly. Holman. Cross here towards Desi Farrell. Having a battle there with Michael McCarthy, who's gone to ground. Farrell has a quick look up. Has support inside. Kieran Whelan was moving into the danger area. So was Holman. They both miss it. And it comes back to Mossy Lyons. One of the newcomers in the Kerry team this year. Darrow Kineda. Back here towards Noel Kennelly. Great solo run. Paul Curran still chasing. And Paul Curran in the end taking his man down. He's a very experienced player. So it's now Darragh O'Kineda. The whistling into his ears, the ball striking the post, coming back down towards Johnny Crowley. 3 men around him. Crowley gets loose, gets free, and he sticks it over the bar. The man who got the opening point after 7 minutes has got a second here. He is some finisher. He must be the sharpest forward playing around at the moment. 1-2 to a point.
Sure, he's got it all. He's got physical strength and he can score from any angle. This is pure brute strength here and good skill at the end of it. He's one of the best forwards in the game at the moment, and he's really on his game.
He's had 2 shots at the target here, 2 points this afternoon. And remember back to the Munster final against Cork, he had 5 shots, he scored 4. Darrow Shea, that's great fielding, beating Collymoran to it. Whelan's chasing after him. Now suddenly it's all Kerry. Crowley inside towards Mike Frank. They could run riot here against Coleman Goggins. Oh, he was trying to link up inside. Donald Daly had made an advance run. Just slipped, didn't take the pass. And Dublin breathed a collective sigh of relief. Booted out by Johnny McGee. Intended for Jason Sherlock. Won back, however, by Eamon Fitzmaurice. Tom O'Sullivan. And it's gone right across the half-back line and out of play. Enda Sheehy preparing to hit this one. Jason Sherlock, look how far back he's come. Surely he cannot be terribly effective that far away from the Kerry goal. And Michael McCarthy goes down to take it. Once again, here comes Seamus Moynihan. Player is able to solo with the right, solo with the left. Mossy Lions. This is a really good spell by Kerry, who, remember, are playing against the breeze. Dara O'Kineda getting there ahead of Shane Ryan. Hitting this one in, floating it towards Davy Byrne's goal, but it doesn't quite have the distance. Summing up his options, Coleman Goggins, or rather it's Darren Homan. Now Paul Curran. Desi Farrell, it's broken down. Good broken play here, snapped up there by Tomas O'Shea. He was fouled in possession by Enda Sheehy. Darragh O'Shea preparing to take the free kick. Inside there towards Johnny Crowley, won back instead, however, by Airdán McGarrett. And a little bit of over-travelling there on the part of Owen Brosnan, taking too many steps. Jason Sherlock for Dublin. Michael McCarthy, it runs off the legs of Mossy Lions, out as far as Seamus Moynihan. Ball just seems to find him like a magnet. Here's Darragh O'Shea, nobody picking him up. Airdán McGarrett. Good strength by McGarrett, but too many steps taken. He beat Pader Andrews to it, but he fouled, and the referee says free kick to the Dubs. It's a stage now midway through the first half, and I'm sure Tom Carr would love to get his charges in for a timeout and just try and get the game plan going again. Here's Robertson. Only 1 point for Dublin so far. And this time they get a free kick for an unfair shoulder or a push, and it's going to be a free in.
And it will be a welcome break for Dublin to see Declan Darcy with the ball in his hand 21 yards out from the goal, because they've lost the plot really, because any ball they have around midfield, they look up and the Kerry backs are right up on the Dublin forwards. They're not giving them space and they have nowhere to kick the ball into, and when they look for Desi Farrell, he's not available.
One of his 5 points against Sligo in the the fourth qualifying round. 3 of them came from frees, and he's got his eye in again. It's one they needed. Declan Darcy's first pointed free, hoping now to eat into the Kerry lead after 18 minutes. 1-2 to 2 points.
The Kerry forward line look awesome again today. When they move, they make space for each other, and even Michael Frank that time when the ball went over the line, he flicked it back. That could have been another goal. It was great appreciation of the space in around the goal.
So this is the view from behind the goal at the town end. Declan O'Keefe preparing to kick this one out in his 24th championship match. Great leap in the air by Darragh O'Shea. He was fortunate to get it back from Darren Homan, having let it slip through his grasp. Daly playing it out towards Kennelly, who was hauled down by Paul. Well, they've decided to leave the free kick for Eamon Fitzmaurice. Good physical work here on the part of Dara O'Kineda. Got there ahead of Shane Ryan. Mike Frank Russell, quick turn, and he's put it inside the right-hand post and over the bar. Wonderful combined football by Kerry.
Yes, the movement is just incredible off the ball. Johnny Crowley swapped over into Dara O'Kineda's space, and everyone knew what was going to happen. Terrific, simple football.
Well, this is it in motion here. It was Dara O'Kineda. Some Dublin fans possibly felt he pushed before he got that ball, but he made use of possession, and Kerry get another point. Here's Owen Brosnan. Made a big impression when he came on in the Munster final. Coleman Goggins is fouled, and it's a free to Dublin, which Pader Andrews takes quickly. Goggins back to Andrews. Darren Homan. Kerry prepared to move back and then wait for the mistakes to come, and passing errors like that are being penalised. That ball seized upon by Eamon Fitzmaurice. Up towards Airdán McGarrett. Beautifully inside. Good work by Owen Brosnan again. Great dispossession by Homan, but the backup play here sees John Crowley move through, and he's fouled. The referee says it was an unfair challenge. In fact, it was something of a sandwich. it was quite chaotic. Another fine strike. Darrow Kineda having made... Paulie O'Shea, satisfied look on his face. Padder Andrews snapping this short kick out. One-handed back there by Seamus Moynihan. He certainly has had Ian Robertson in his pocket so far, Seamus Moynihan. Quite content to go out around the middle of the field if that's where Ian Robertson plans to travel. Darren Holman stumbling. Foul in the end, the referee says, by Darrow O'Shea. The Kerry fans don't agree.
Well, he was looking to get a foul there, but this is where Dublin are falling down. From here, their half-forwards aren't showing for the ball like the Kerry half-forwards, so they're just hoping on a long diagonal ball into the corners, and if they don't make the runs, it's very hard to gain possession.
Johnny McGee floating it in here. Collie Moran watches as Mossy Lyons goes up to contest that one, and it's good. It's a terrible miss. He's a young player, but this is the kind of atmosphere he's going to have to contend with if Dublin are to be in the hunt for not just inside forwards right now. But the forwards of Kerry are still causing some problems. Here's Paddy Christie, and an elbow into the back. Johnny Crowley protesting. Case of the Garda from Cork City in the Kerry jersey protesting at the superintendent of the Gardaí, who comes from Galway. Homan. Here's Desi Farrell. Taken up here by Paul Curran. It's a score they could have done with. He looks...
Tracking back again by half-forwards who are not noted for tackling back.
Good catch. Good shoulder from Kieran Whelan on Tom O'Sullivan. Now Noel Kennelly. Oof. Owen Brosnan taking the shoulder from Darren Holman. Out by Darrow O'Shea. Here's the goal scorer, Iadon McGarrett. A goal after about 10.5 minutes play. Mike Frank Russell is fouled. Easily picks out here the wing back, Tomas O'Shea. They try to get it back there towards O'Shea once more, but it comes to Collie Moran of Dublin. But they have an awful lot of players back. He looks ahead. There's 3 men. He's now just crossing the 65-metre line. He's going through on his own. It's a solo effort. He's missed one a little while ago. It's inside, and he gets it back, and he's missed. The pass came from Desi Farrell, and poor Collie Moran, you have to feel sorry for him. Nothing opened up for him from the time he crossed the 65-metre line, so he went on a solo run. He had to do it all on his own. He was just misfortunate. This is the pass across from Desi Farrell, and that is a dreadful miss.
Yeah, but I suppose he was right to take it at first time to try and get it into the back of it. And he had no option but to carry the ball, because every time he looked up, there was nobody free.
I hope the Taoiseach made some money at the Galway races. Here comes Johnny McGee. Darren Holman. Jason Sherlock can't take it there. A lot of the players taking the opportunity to get as much water on board as possible. Seamus Moynihan out to take the sideline ball. You just get the feeling from his demeanour that he'd love to be playing anywhere else other than in full-back. Padder Andrews got a vital touch on that. Paul Curran back to Johnny McGee. His fumble. Brosnan's after him. McGee remains composed. McCarthy jumping up there. After it there was Fitzmaurice. Desi Farrell has it instead, and another bad miss. Well, it was going wide, but it appears the goalkeeper carried it out over the end line. Declan was taking absolutely no chances, but it was definitely...
Kerry backline, one of the Kerry backs got a hand to it, and it was going to be a 50 anyway, or a 45.
Here comes Jason Sherlock, and they get another score. Jason Sherlock encouraging his colleagues now. Bit more ammunition into the forwards, and the fans will be a lot happier. All of a sudden, it's 1-4 to 3 points.
You were just talking about Seamus Moynihan there a while ago, Ger. Everyone would love to see Seamus Moynihan around half-back line and midfield, just to watch him, because he's a smashing footballer, and he is confined in there in the full-back line.
Mention of the space in and around the full-back line. When we looked at that scoreline, Tony, just moments ago, had that Collie Moran shot gone in, Dublin would be within a point.
Yeah.
That's how tight this match is. Eamon Fitzmaurice. Kerry do look classier. Key players in key positions. Ian Robertson giving a shoulder into the back of Darragh O'Shea that time. Fitzmaurice taking the free kick, getting it back from Donald Daly. Been encouraged to take it forward. Mike Frank Russell judging it neatly. Getting there ahead of Coleman Goggins. Inside towards Johnny Crowley. And in the end, it's Johnny McGee who let part of the countryside to come to. As O'Kenneady kicks it in, and he kicks it wide. By the small rectangle for the kick out. John got away with it for years, played in 70 championship matches. Bit of a push. Sherlock trying to locate Ian Robertson. Dessie Farrell competing with Seamus Moynihan, and Moynihan bends his back, tenaciously taking it forward, held, fouled, free out as far as Daly. About 5 minutes to go to half-time, plus possibly an extra minute or so for stoppages. Darragh O'Kenneady to Mike Frank Russell, and this time Coleman Goggins adjudged to have again, drops a bit short, fists around there, blocked down. McGarrett getting it back here to Darragh O'Shea, stepping through the cover. A useful kick, and Davy Byrne has to produce a save to stop it going into the top right-hand corner. Plucky work there by Davy Byrne, but it was O'Shea who was coming through here. Curran was the last man to try and put in a challenge, and it needed a good save. Well, he was simply bypassing the midfield players. Curran in the end diving in to try and block his shot. So another 45 for Darragh O'Kenneady to kick, and this time he's got it beautifully. It's a second free pointed by Darragh O'Kenneady. This one from the 45, and Donald Daly there in picture is very happy. 3.5 minutes or so still to play in this first half, where Kerry have been clearly the better team. Enda Sheehy back to Paul Curran, but Dublin had a lot of chances. McGee, Sheehy once again. Johnny McGee going forward here. How Dublin could do with a late score before half-time. Kieran Whelan. Oh, it's off the post. Back down to Darcy. Partly blocked. Dessie Farrell's in, and Dessie Farrell is in and off the post. Dublin have missed two absolute sitters. They should have 2 goals by now. One by Collie Moran, one by Dessie Farrell, and they also struck the post there, and they really are out of luck. Can anything else go wrong for them? That's unbelievable. It was Kieran Whelan who was coming through. Dublin, or Kerry rather, have a player down injured at the moment. Player injured is Michael McCarthy. He's in need of some attention, so Dave Gainey is in along there with Aileen O'Carroll, the physio, attending. Aileen, a very well-known physio down in County Kerry. But what about the goal chance that fell to Dessie Farrell? Here was Kieran Whelan's wonderful run, struck the post, came back down. Farrell waiting as it came inside here. He was given the pass. He had to score, and he strikes the crossbar. It's unbelievable. Darcy fed it into him, and Dessie Farrell, don't know what he was thinking. That's the miss of the year. Kerry with 12 scoring chances, and they've taken, as you can see, 6, a goal and 5 points. Michael McCarthy is forced off, and the Kerry selectors are forced into a conclave to make a rapid change. I wonder, will it be somebody like Mike Hassett who would come in? Has to be, because Mike Hassett will be remembered from the match in Cork and that fantastic steal as Fionn Murray was going through. Kerry down to 14 just for the moment, and Seamus Moynihan has it again. What a match he's playing. Donald Daly. Good solo, lovely control, elegant style. Darrow Kinneady, almost toying with Dublin at times. Final pass by Kinneady isn't a good one. Paddy Christie's back there. There's another half-minute to play. A substitution is about to be made, and it is, of course, Mike Hassett who will come in. Hasn't come in just yet. There's a little delay, and this will concern Kerry as it's concerned a lot of teams. Kerry is still down to 14. Dublin attacking. Darcy, and this time he had a chance of a point, and he hit it short, and it was a very easy save for Declan O'Keefe. You just feel that Dublin are completely unnerved as a result of those 2-goal misses. That last one, when they'll feel that simply the gods were not on their side.
They have enough possession and they have enough chances, but they're just not taking them.
Here's Darcy. They're going forward in waves right now, the men in the blue and navy of Dublin. Paul Curran back to Enda Sheehy, blocked down well by Tomas O'Shea. We've played a minute and a half of injury time at this stage. It was supposed to be one, but it's still at the referee's discretion. Nobody's picking up Darcy. Still going through. Here comes Kieran Whelan. And it's stopped on the line. And coming out with that ball is Seamus Moynihan, and it's going to be a free out. It's amazing. Since that goal miss, it's like as if they just lost their game plan and started going for goals the whole time instead of points.
Yes, they're trying too hard. They're not really playing with their head at all. They're playing with their heart.
And Darren Homan. And I think the Dublin fans here would be in total agreement with Colm and Pat back in the studio. They're looking for a big performance now from Kieran Whelan. But making the first big impact is Darragh O'Shea. Michael McCarthy is back on the Kerry team, by the way. And the player who went off, came in momentarily, has been replaced. And that's a great start to the second half. And it's Owen Brosnan who's kicked his first point in this Bank of Ireland quarter-final. So it's Kerry who make much the better start of the second half and lead 1-6 to 3 points. But had they taken even a share of their scores, surely Dublin would be level at this stage. Instead, they've conceded yet another. I wonder, will they consider bringing Vinnie Murphy in? Aidan McCarroll taking this free kick up towards Mike Frank Russell. Back once again to Tomas O'Shea. Oof, dropped down. Paddy Christie in a little bit of difficulty. The rain has eased, but you heard mention of the slippery conditions. That's pretty obvious. Here's Coleman Goggins. Slipping away from Mike Frank Russell. Out here to Pater Andrews. Dublin needing scores and needing them fast. Still a long way to go. Here's Pater Andrews. Darragh O'Shea's after him. Andrews still going forward and coming across there with Seamus Moynihan committing the foul, and a free from the 13-metre line will be the result. First scoring chance for Dublin. Here's a good chance to go point for point. And Declan Darcy belts it over. And that is his second point of this match. Both of them coming from frees. But they need a greater contribution from play. It's 1-6 to 4 points. I think Dublin might be considering a change immediately here. Tom Carr, John O'Leary, John, one of the selectors, of course, and Ken Darcy, I think, is the player they are going to look to. Brother of Declan. Played in the match against Sligo. This is dropped down here. And Tomas O'Shea gets it forward towards Mike Frank Russell. There's no denying him. O'Shea almost stepping into trouble, stepping away from it gracefully. Almost cut out by Paul Curran, but not successfully. Johnny Crowley instead against Paddy Christie, and he belts it over the bar. He is a wonderfully gifted player. I can't see him being denied what he really wants this year, possibly to add to that Munster medal. Maybe there's an All-Star there as well, but the one he really wants is an All-Ireland medal. In this kind of form, he is undeniably brilliant.
Yes, and you have to take into effect as well that Dublin's best back is marking him, and he just can't get close enough to get a tackle in.
That's a great catch. Kieran Whelan having a quick look at Pater Andrews providing support. Airdon McGarrett dragging him back. Free kick to Dublin, taken smartly into Darren Homan. Played forward towards Desi Farrell. He's pushed in the back. The push is by Michael McCarthy. And it's a very good position for Dublin to tap. 3 out of 3. Seen a switch there involving Coleman Goggins and also Paddy Christie. Shane Ryan, is still marking Dara O'Kineda right in front of the Dublin goal. Here's Pater Andrews trying to blot out the threat of the Kerry half-forward line. Line ball to the Kingdom. Dara O'Shea punting it away down towards Dara O'Kineda. Shane Ryan, who is a relation to Goggins. Can he deny him? Possession going back into the inside forwards one more time. Dara O'Kineda taking on Ryan. Here comes Airdon McGarrett going by Andrews, hitting it with the left with tremendous force and accuracy. That's now a goal and a point for Airdon McGarrett. They do it so simply, so effectively, and they make it 1-8 to 5 points.
And it's also unnatural. There's nothing forced about it. And again, another one of the Kerry half-forward line contributing from play. They're playing very well today, linking up between the full back line, half-back line and their inside forwards. And that's just a beautiful score from his left leg, 40 yards over the bar. Quite simple.
Whereas Dublin have to labour for any of their scores. And there were big gaps in the first half in their scoring ratio, where, of course, they only hit 3 points in any weight. Taken up here well. Dara O'Shea. Well, it was intended for Johnny Crowley, and Coleman Goggins, his momentum carried him out over the far sideline. Mike Frank Russell is pushed in the back by Paddy Christie. Ready to take this free. He's got 2 pointed frees so far. One of them was from a 45, and he's now got a third. Excellent kicker. That's 3 points out of 5 attempts so far. And it keeps Kerry very nicely in front from the point of view of their fans.
Dublin really need Kieran Whelan and Darren Homan to take effect there at midfield now. They have to get a platform to get ball into Desi Farrell or for Declan Darcy to score from frees. They just have to at this stage, or the game will go from them.
I think they also have to believe that there will be a spell during the second half where they will enjoy some dominance and they will have scoring chances, and they'll have to make them count. By then, Kerry could be out of sight. Here's Owen Brosnan, and he was fouled repeatedly there by Johnny McGee, and it's a free in, 20 metres out. Ian Robertson is the one, I think, about to make way as Ken Darcy is about to come into the action. It takes about 30 seconds, we were estimating last week, for each of these substitutions to be made nowadays. And if, say, 8 substitutions are made between the two teams, well, that's an added 4 minutes that should be played at the end of each match. An announcement has to be made. The one player has to leave the field, the other player comes in. It's not like the old system where you brought a little slip of paper and ran after the referee. Going away from goal, and there's a player inside of the square, and it's going to be a free out for Dublin. This match needs some Dublin scores, Tony.
Yes, and one other aspect of the substitutions, it totally disjoints the game for about 10 minutes in the second half. You don't know who's on or who's off, and there's no frequency of play whatsoever.
Absolutely. Coleman Goggins. Under it here is Mossy Lyons. That's stylish corner-back play. Dara O'Shea looking ahead, spotting a colleague, but reading the situation well was Shane Ryan, the Dublin full-back. And he steps out over the sideline. Dara O'Shea, his uncle Paddy there alongside him, ready to take the free kick. That's Dara, not Paddy. Paddy loved him. Airdon McGarrett. Outside of the boot. Clever ball downfield to Johnny Crowley. He's got support ahead of him in Brosnan. He's taken down on the 20-metre line. A combination of Goggins and McGee. And again, a fair illustration of the power and ferocity of Johnny Crowley in the attack.
It's McGee who is indicted by the referee. He gets the number noted. One more foul like that and he would be given a card. Darrow Canada quite nonchalantly putting it over. That's 4 points for the day so far, all of them coming from frees. And it's now 110 to 5 points and looking very unhealthy for Dublin. This is it once again. Great catch by Johnny Crowley, and McGee was after him. Goggins, in fairness, did not make contact. Darrow O'Shea this time deemed to have pushed Kieran Whelan. Free quickly taken by Collie Moran. Desi Farrell. Endesheehy is there as well. Here's Farrell. They need his steadying influence now. Inside for Jason Sherlock. What a goal for Dublin would do for this match. They get a free, 13 metres out. Still a lot of work for Jason Sherlock and his colleagues if they're to eat into this impressive Kerry lead. Kicked over the bar by Declan Darcy. That's 4 points he scored so far. 4 shots taken as well from frees. 110 now to 6 points. Kerry still the leaders. Declan O'Keefe's kick is a huge one. It's mopped up here by Padder Andrews. Heading away on a solo. Dublin still trying to maintain some sense of cohesion up front. It was a thoughtful ball, but not an accurate one. Daly. Here comes Eamon Fitzmaurice. Hit inside here by Ryan, taking the return from Homan. Oh, McGee got a touch on it, but not enough. And in the end, Owen Brosnan gives it away to Paddy Christie. Just for a moment, there was a goal opportunity there for Dublin. It looked to be at the creative stage, but never quite developed. Back come Kerry once again. Referee wants play brought back. That's Dennis O'Dwyer, who's been told you can't take the free from there. Michael McCarthy is about to be replaced by Mike Hassett. Mike's second time into the action. I'm not quite sure if the first time he was in was regarded as a blood rule. I didn't see any rule at that, or any blood at that stage. So this could probably be counted as Kerry's third substitution, even though it involves Mike Hassett coming on twice. Daly back to Fitzmaurice. Paddy O'Shea is very animated on the sideline. Mike Frank beaten for this one by Paddy Christie, and that's Endesheehy who goes down, and Christie's gone down feeling his knee. Christie's okay, he's back taking up his position in the full back line, marking Mike Frank. Kieran Whelan motoring forward, taking on a couple of Kerry players. Darrow O'Shea's after him, one number 8 against another, taken down, free from about 13 metres. Every so often we get glimpses of what Kieran Whelan's very much capable of. He's a fine athlete. Another point chance here for Declan Darcy. Can he make it 5 from 5? Composing himself. He's got another. Gradually, Declan Darcy with his frees, attempting to bring Dublin more and more into it. 6 points between them, but in truth, that's been the kind of margin we've had for a long, long time.
Yes, and it looks like Kerry are happy enough just to foul and concede free kicks where Declan Darcy will kick a point. But there are times when they didn't need to actually foul him. If they shepherd him into the sideline, he mightn't just have to concede a free.
Vinnie Murphy is about to come into this Dublin team. He's standing up down in front of the dugout. There will be a huge cheer when the fans see him. Right now, the Dublin fans are concerned that Kerry might be time wasting. There's the big man himself. Spent a fair bit of time down in the kingdom, doing a lot of good coaching. Didn't play for Kerry. There was speculation that he might at one stage. This is ahead to Paul Curran. This is the period of supremacy now that Dublin fans will hope they can possibly translate into scores. They've got a free kick. Jason Sherlock was making a run. Mossy Lyons fouls him. Collie Moran
opening it up across to Darren Homan. He kicks a point. Darren Homan's first. The Dubs are fighting back. The fans are not giving up on their team. It's a really spirited comeback. And it's won at 10 to 8 points.